right, to continue notes for chapter 1, lesson 5, I believe we are on g of f of x. I do not think we have done this yet. So what this is telling us to do is they're telling us to take the f of x and to put it in for this x. And I believe we actually started this. We just didn't quite finish it. So remember, I'm taking the f of x and putting it in 2x plus 5 in for the x. I don't have my Apple Pen, so please just bear with me. Notice I do have to FOIL right here, and a lot of you guys in PreCalc are fine with foiling. 4x squared, the outer will be 10x, the inner will be 10x, so that's 20x plus 25 and plus 1. And we have to distribute that 4 all the way through. So that gives us the 16x squared plus 80x plus 100 plus 1. So my final answer for g of f of x is 16x squared plus 80x plus 101. How do y'all feel about that? All right, moving on to C, I moved my g of x over here, and my f of x is here. And now we're finding f of g of negative 1/2. Now we solved for that earlier, but I don't have that information, so let's do it again. They're asking us to put the g of x, this equation right here, in for the x. So we will write in purple, and I have 2 times 4x squared plus 1 plus 5. Distribute that 2. 8x squared plus 2 plus 5. That's that plus 5 right there. And I distributed the 2. And when I add like terms, I have 8x squared plus 7. Now, instead of putting in x, what are we going to put in? Good, negative 1/2. 8 times negative 1/2 quantity squared plus 7. So that becomes 8. Well, negative 1 squared is 1. 2 squared is 4. So 1/4 of 8 plus 7. What's 1/4 of 8? We know these can cancel out, and we know that 1/4 of 8 will be 2. 2 plus 7 is equal to 9. So the answer of f of g of negative 1/2 is 9. So this is the answer right here. All right, I'm moving on to show you a little bit of what we call the identity function. These are kind of equal, and we're going to study this a little bit further, but remember we're doing the exact same thing. For this one, I'm putting the g of x, this equation, inside for the x on the f of g of x. So we're going to set this one up together. F is 3, and I'm putting in 1/3 x plus 2/3, and then don't forget that minus 2. All right, so we have to distribute. 3 times 1/3 is 1x. 3 times 2 over 3 is 2 minus 2. So what happens with my 2 and my negative 2? Yes, they cancel out. And notice my answer is just x. Let's see what happens with the next one. Now I'm going to take the f of x equation, so I'm going to take this equation and put it in right here. I'm going to do this down a little bit lower. So I'm taking the f of x equation and putting it into the x. 1/3, well, the f of x equation is 3x minus 2 plus 2/3. Well, when I distribute, 1/3 times 3 is 1x. 1/3 times negative 2 is negative 2/3. And we have plus 2/3. And what do you guys notice again? It cancels out to be negative 2/3 and positive 2/3. Those cancel out, and my answer again is just x. So these conveniently, notice if they are inverse functions, we call them, I'll just highlight it right here. It says, notice these are equal and represent the identity function. All right, the next section, please, please, please do not make this more difficult than it is. It's kind of a confusing question at first, but it says write h of x equals 3x minus 5 cubed as a composition of two functions. So let me kind of start you out with a little hint. What if I say, well, I won't use h, so let's go ahead and let's use g first. What if I say g of x is equal to x cubed? So notice that, I'll highlight, this part cubed, and if I call f, I don't know why it's doing that, if I call f of x 3x minus 5, you would have to come up with this on your own. But notice in here, I'm taking this 3x minus 5 and I'm putting it in for this x. So would it be f of g of x? Or would it be g of f of x? So you actually have to write all of this on your own. So notice because I put the f inside of the g, it would be g of f. I don't know why it keeps doing that. I'm sorry. Again, I don't have my Apple Pen today. Of x. But you would have to state this one and this one to get the answer. So while we're there, let's go ahead and try this one. Right here it says write the function h of x equals 1 over x squared minus 2 as a composition of two functions. So there are many, many, many different answers. If you want to pause it first to try it on your own, you can. So pause now if you want to do that, or you can just listen. So if I called g of x 1 over x, that would be the main blueprint. And if I call f of x squared minus 2, remember that's saying, hey, we're going to take this little guy and put it in here for the x. So again, am I saying g of f of x or f of g of x? And it doesn't matter if you have one or the other. We'll just make sure you have it right. So in this case, it will be g of f of x.